welcome, Carlos.
Kia ora, Shannon. Great to be here.
Yeah, it's been excellent partnering with CarbonInvoice this year. Has really been able to help us on our journey towards becoming carbon neutral. Now, doing right by the planet has always been really important to us, but it can be a little overwhelming and hard to know where to start. So really thankful that the team at CarbonInvoice got in touch with me this year and opened me up to this opportunity. So Carlos, can you tell us a little bit about CarbonInvoice and what made you start the business?
About 11 or 12 years ago, I decided I was a young law graduate working at Russell McVeigh, and I decided climate was the most important issue facing humanity and the one that I wanted to work on. So I, in some ways, voted with my feet and decided to move on, and a windy journey, but eventually a few years ago started CarbonInvoice after a few other businesses. And really we see an opportunity and a need to help independent small, medium business owners take meaningful action in this climate effort. There are small and medium business owners make up the majority of the world's economy. There's about 1 billion around the world, 600 million sole traders, 400 million with 250 employees or less. And that group accounts for about a third of global carbon emissions. Now, they are busy people, they are highly productive people, and they need easy, accessible, and robust ways to contribute to climate and do their bit in their business. So that's what we've tried
definitely
to
agree with all of that.
Yeah, so we've been tried to design the easiest starting point for small medium business owners. We focus on services firms initially. So services firms with an employee up to a couple of hundred. If you want to start your journey, you're scratching your head going, where do I get started? It all feels difficult. Then CarbonInvoice is one way to do that. We allow you to measure your footprint in about a minute. Then we allow you to start mitigating that footprint by funding the planting of beautiful native trees around New Zealand. And then thirdly, we help you communicate that impact in different ways to share with your network, your commercial clients, your teams, the good work that you're doing.
Yeah, perfect. And we've definitely seen the value of that ourselves. But also in a recent survey, Frog found that over 2/3 of New Zealand workers said that their employers weren't doing enough to care for the planet, and only 27% rated that they were going above and beyond. So you've mentioned some of the things here already, but how can CarbonInvoice really help businesses to meet those expectations on when it comes to sustainability practices?
So talk is cheap, and it's about action, right? Positive action. That's what we enable. So I think the starting point is measuring your carbon footprint. You need to put a baseline in and know where you stand today. And then secondly, taking action on that. And we think planting native trees, which sequester that carbon, an equivalency to the amount that a business has created, is a very tangible way. It's very proven technology for businesses, to take a first step. And then thirdly, a lot of it is a communication piece, bringing your teams, your clients along on the journey. So we try and help our customers really make that communication piece easy, powerful. For the businesses who do take action, you should be very proud of what you're doing. And I think if we all can communicate that and share, then we can get more and more action. In New Zealand, we've got about 500,000 small businesses. A lot of those are sole traders. There's about 160,000 with an employee or more. Of that group, less than about 3% by our numbers have measured and done anything about their carbon footprint of those privately held businesses. So there's a real opportunity for us to grow that number in Aotearoa, we want to be environmental leaders. We've got a good history of doing so, and I think there's an opportunity for the business community to get started.
Well, absolutely. Well, the 3% is obviously a ways to go there, but as you say, what a great opportunity. Now, I wanted to, we've talked about the businesses, and I really like that idea of bringing everybody along on the journey with them as well. So, what about employees? So, I was thinking from the survey results there, it's all well and good for our kaimahi to say their employers aren't doing enough, but what can the employees themselves do to encourage a more eco-friendly workplace?
Yeah, I think the responsibility is in both camps, isn't it? Isn't it, Shannon? Um, if you're, I think your survey also pointed out that 40% of employees rated sustainability as a top criteria when choosing their next workplace. 60%, had other priorities as well. But I think if you're in the camp where that is high priority for you from your employer, then I think, in some ways, making that a thing that you a selection criteria, in the same way
Mm,
that I did when I found I couldn't work on climate at my current employer. I think there's the ability. I mean, a good question is, do you have a policy around this stuff? Where is your sustainability policy? And maybe an even better question is, what have you done to advance that policy in the last 3 or 6 months? It's easy to write a policy and then forget about it. I think once job seekers join an organization, be proactive and put your hand up and do the work. I know with Frog and People to People, there was an internal working group called Good to Planet, and there was already a lot of thinking in the organization about sustainability underway before CarbonInvoice arrived and before we partnered.
yeah, absolutely. And as you say, it's the thinking's good, but the actual action is so much more value. So thank you for helping us with that, and thanks for coming on today and helping us spread the word as well.
Pleasure, Shannon. Thanks for your leadership and great to be here.